I am up and running. Everything looks good. Alright, let's get our game up and running. Got Final Fantasy IX coming up. And hopefully all goes well. I'm very new to this, so we'll see how everything goes, and hopefully no catastrophes happen. So we'll say, get that out of my way. I'm just going to continue right where I was. Because to be honest, I have no idea how frequently I'll be doing this live, so I'm just going to kind of go as is. Otherwise, this game will take an eternity. So just to kind of get everything up to speed, for those who don't know, Final Fantasy IX, our main hero here is Zidane. He is a thief aboard a theater ship for the Tunnelist group, and their mission was to kidnap the princess for reasons we don't know quite yet. And so they succeeded in their mission, although they hit a snag when the queen shot them down and they crashed in a forest. The princess was captured and by like the mastermind bug thing out there, and go kick its ass. And because it was defeated, the whole forest started to petrify, and unfortunately we lost a member of the party who saved himself and escaped to a cave. And that is when we found one of the other members of this group that the queen has sent to go fetch the princess, known as the Black Waltz. I just defeated the first one, and now that is where we're at, going in to look at this little town. So, yeah, Final Fantasy IX, easily my favorite game, my favorite Final Fantasy, as you might haven't guessed by that point. Everybody likes to go with like 6, 7, 10. Those are usually the ones that get thrown out. But I feel like everybody kind of overlooks 9, just because it came in obviously after 7, and people didn't really care that much about 8 from the sounds of it. There's still plenty of fans out there. I'm iffy on it as a whole. It didn't grab me the same way 7 or 9 did. So I don't mind quite as much on 8. But then people also look at 10, and 10's fine. I don't like it quite as much as 9, obviously. But yeah, that's where we're at here. I'm still trying to figure out controls on here. It's been a minute. So we're just going to go over to this little village. Not before, of course, I get hit with a boss fight. And that's a good way to just kind of talk about this music. This is like some of the best fight music in the whole series, if you ask me. Probably not gonna live beyond this, I gotta say. There we go. Smack down the bitch ass spider. So hopefully everything is going smoothly. Everything looks good on my end here. So probably only going to do this for about an hour or so. Just kind of get the feel for things. Still just trying to feel out everything that I'm doing here. So, all right, go into our little village here. I gotta say, like, these four here, this is the crew I typically roll with. I don't really go outside of these guys, outside of just grinding purposes. I don't really have any care to go. This four certainly fill all the needs. You know, I got my thief, my black mage, my hard heavy hitter, and my white summoner, white mage summoner. So that's hard to kind of deviate from that. Now I do tend to use Freya quite a bit as well, just because she has a healing capability and she can hit hard. So I can use her in place of Dagger or Steiner. But usually Vivi and Zidane. Well, Zidane has to be part of the crew. I can never just get rid of him at will. But Vivi is usually always in my crew. That is like my favorite character in this whole game. This is like a pretty depressing little area here. This is where Vivi obviously finds that he is not the only black mage, and there are so many that look like him, and you know that leads to a lot of depression on his end later down the road. What he finds, so I really do like this area, and what it takes to kind of pull him out of his funk. Sleep around with you peasants? Gotta admire the fuck out of Steiner's loyalty here. Dude is a dedicated man. Now we get Phoebe running through and going, holy shit, why is everybody like weirded out by me? Yeah, not exactly an action-packed section here that I'm going through. Uh, so just on the topic of video games and stuff like that, obviously, one of the things that, at least on Twitter, that kind of blew up, at least from what I pay attention to, is the video game Mount Rushmore. And I kind of thought about that for a little bit. I'm like, okay, well, I certainly agree with Mario being on there, being what all he brings. Um, he is like the face of platforming as a whole. Um, but I definitely would have had like Pac-Man on there as one of like the absolute like biggest names in arcade of its time. It's still a popular game even to this day. People still play it in all sorts of different versions. Hell, I even had like a Sega Genesis version that was like kind of an adventure thing where I can't really remember how it went, where you're kind of a character within the game and you're just kind of helping him along his journey. And if I remember right, you had like a slingshot. It was kind of an odd game, but it has had many adaptations, even TV shows and stuff like that. So, I mean, Pac-Man certainly belongs on the Mount Rushmore. And then I had to go with Doom over Wolfenstein. I know Wolfenstein was first, but I think Doom left the bigger cultural impact. Especially in the '90s for all the people that wanted to ban it outright because it was inspiring school shooters and stupid shit like that. Yeah, I mean, I love Doom myself. I've never actually played Wolfenstein, but those earlier games at least look like more or less you played one, you essentially played the other. You just swap out demons for Nazis on that. I have no idea if that is true though. At some point, I should check that out and see if that is the case. And then for my last pick, I picked Street Fighter. And honestly, it just kind of came down to I was more familiar with it over Mortal Kombat. I think you can honestly pick one or the other, but I'm going to go with Street Fighter, and then the representative would be Ryu. I just think he is the... When you think Street Fighter, you're likely going to think Ryu right off the bat. At least that's the first image that comes to my head anytime somebody mentions that. And I really like that Dagger is over here trying to at least blend in. She's at least making a concerted effort. Just say that here just in case shit goes sideways on me. So yeah, that's basically where I would put it for my Mount Rushmore. It would be Pac-Man, Mario, Doom Guy, and Ryu from Street Fighter. I just wanted to get a good like fighting game in there as well, just because that has a huge genre. Now I wasn't trying to focus strictly on genre, just kind of going off of what a lot of people feel best represents video games as a whole. And I think your platformers, your arcade games, your shooters, and your fighting games is kind of like what most people would gravitate towards, and what a lot of even normies to a lot of these things would even recognize. So that's why I picked those four. I think most people can think Mario belongs there regardless. I just, the picture I saw had, what was his name? Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal. I'm like, who the fuck's thinking of Twisted Metal? No offense to him, but it's like, come on, even fans of it, it's like, the Final Fantasy is my favorite game, but I wouldn't exactly put 9 on that Mount Rushmore. I'm wasn't trying to think of it in terms of my favorite games, just what leaves the biggest cultural impact and what most people would point to. I don't think there's a damn thing here. Aha. Oh, fuck no. After my first playthrough of this, I learned I just don't want to ever, I never want to just get rid of shit. I left that chest there. I really need to get that. We'll just knock that out before I forget it like a dipshit. Just kind of always picture she's just sitting there like awkwardly staring at them as they're talking. I'm like, that's a little unsettling. Don't worry, I'll just sit here and watch you. Dude's like bug-eyed as fuck. Look at him. I can't remember how I get beyond this part here. At least for the mayor's office thing. I know I've done it several times and I always go, oh yeah, that's how. But yeah, so a little bit about me, because I'm sure not a soul knows who I am. You know, I have another channel, my main channel. I do indie comic reviews. I gravitated towards indie comics as a whole, just because of what's coming out in Hollywood just sucks ass. And when it came to comics, I had a hard time trying to figure out where to start with as far as Marvel and DC. So I'm just kind of picking up a few things here and there. I gravitate more towards like 90s stuff there. But then I got introduced to indie comics. My first one started with the Rippaverse and Isom. And I like that. It's not my favorite comic. But it was enough to get me more and more interested. So I started checking out other creators, and I started liking what I was reading and decided, hey, you know, I want to make a channel and talk about it. So that's what I've been doing. However, it's not the only thing I want to talk about online. So I decided, why don't I just do some streams and talk about some other shit that I like? You know, I love movies. You know, and with what Hollywood's just kind of dragging out, I'm just not interested in. All we're doing is just making remakes, sequels, shit like that, and most of it sucked to begin with, and I don't care. And the things that they're trying to remake was already done better prior, so I just don't understand why I should go bother doing it. You know, take for example the latest Snow White. I have no desire to look at that because, you know, I just watched the original this, you know, tonight earlier, and that movie's still pretty good. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I mean, it's beautiful. The animation still great. The songs are very entertaining. I have two kids, and I have a boy and a girl, and they were both very intrigued with it. Um, the dwarves, they cracked me up something fierce, um, especially Grumpy. Uh, I really just constant, scrunched up face, just never wanting to give an inch. But he eventually gives in and um, cares about the well-being of Snow White herself, and I really like that. And so I'm just like reflecting on that, and I'm like, how could this possibly be made better by today's standards? I don't think so. And so I'm also going back and just kind of rewatching stuff that I haven't checked before. And if there is something that comes out that is worth a damn, from a lot of the people basically on YouTube that I trust, and see good reviews on things like Criticless, I'll check them out. So, case in point, I've just recently watched two shows. One's older, that I never got the chance to check out, and one just came out last year. And so the older one's Firefly, and holy shit, that is a great show. That entered like my top, I'd say my top three. That's really a fantastic show. And so, when people talked about it, they're always talking about, oh, tragically because of stupidity of Fox, this never got to see a second season, and it at least got to close out with a movie. And I am definitely one of those people who think that now. I'm like, yeah, this fucking sucks. But then I'm still currently watching Penguin, and we've gotten through 4 episodes, and fucking hell, this has been a good show too. I think I still like Firefly more, but this is probably still gonna end up being like a top 5 show for me. This has been very, very good, very well written. The tense moments you get with like Oz and Sophia interacting with one another has just been fantastic. Really like Vic as well. He's been just a good, good person, just trying to help. Well, okay, good quote unquote, as far as what he does. He's trying to be loyal to Oz. He's trying to prove that he's worth a damn and worth keeping around, and I can appreciate that. So he's been through a hell of a lot. He lost his entire family in the Batman movie. The things that happened in that took out his family. So that's those are like just 2 examples there. But on the subject of the Batman, people, I seem to be in the minority on this one, but I did not like that movie at all. There was a few areas that I thought were fine. I liked, I thought Gordon was fine. I had no issues with him. Outside of the annoying part that, yeah, they race swapped him. And Jeffrey Wright, he's a good actor, so I try to just think that was it, and I don't try to knee-jerk go in DEI. But, you just can't help but think that at times. But he put in a pretty good performance. I had nothing really, no real issues there. Alfred, Andy Serkis is good in pretty much everything I've ever seen him in. And then Gotham itself, I thought it looked great. But that was really about all I can think of that I actually liked in the movie. I think performances were fine, but the direction given to them were god-awful. such as like the case with Batman and Bruce Wayne himself. Robert Pattinson, I think, is a good actor, and I think he was doing the thing that he was being directed to do very well. But I think that what he was trying to do just sucked ass. I just the thing that really started to annoy me to the point I was really getting distracted from the rest of the movie was the way he moved. It was always, always, always in slow motion. And I found it incredibly distracting. Because I'm just like, how is he fighting crime? How is he solving shit? How is he getting anywhere? Because, he's just like, and it just, also, how the fuck is he a billionaire at this point? Because, those people tend to be pretty good and driven. Now, yeah, he inherited the money, but he also has to keep it around. He has to do something with it. And that was another thing, is the way that he carried himself and went about everything. How does not everybody in that town know that he is Batman? Like, nobody ever sees him. He's always kind of shutting and, off to himself. I'm like, he comes off as a big-ass weirdo. So I had a lot of problems with it. Oh shit, I went the wrong way. Yeah. Pretty sure I just need to go back to the inn at this point. There she is. Kind of like in Pokemon too. Where the fuck is all the adults? Or mostly the men, and I believe it was like a war or something like that. I had never paid it that much attention, but I believe, yeah, it was like all the men ran off to fight in the war, and so that just leaves the women and children back. See, look at this dude over here just being as absolutely useful as humanly possible. Good on him. He's a fucking goober, but I like him. Do it, huh? Yeah, I'm one of those type that just have to fucking save all the time. But the only damn thing I haven't done in this game is get Steiner's, was it Excalibur 2? I have no real interest in getting that, just because of what all it takes. I would rather sit and take my time and enjoy this game, rather than, you know, I think I need to get all the way to Hades in like 9 hours, and I'm like, fuck that. That is just not worth the headache for me. Of course, go down. Queen shady as fuck. Getting that fantastic music. Very underrated. Gotta say, I kind of like 9's music as a whole more than 7. But 7's got some really, really good ones. I mean, everybody points to One Winged Angel. I personally like Genova a little bit more. And I also really like the Bomber Mission one. You know, the very first song that you hear in the game once you get going. Outside of a few of those, I think 9 has the stronger soundtrack all in all. I'm trying not to play too many favorites. I mean, I love 7 as well. Don't get me wrong, but I really kind of prefer 9's soundtrack. Except when it comes to like the final boss ones. Again, One Winged Angel for 7, very, very good. And then what's his name, like Necron or something like that for 9. His song, it's fine, it's good, but it's just, yeah, it's not fucking One Winged Angel. So funny enough, I've played this game a shit ton of times, but I very rarely beat it. Just, it's one of those games where I love these characters so much, I hate beating the game. So usually by the time I get into like the end part where I'm fighting, like typically I'll get to like Hades and pretty much call it there. I'm like, oh, this is about as far as I want to go. So I've beaten Kuja and done all the done the Necron fight and all that fun shit. But yeah, very rarely do I actually like beating this game. Hell, I've even beaten Ozma. Don't know how, outside of do it several fucking times. I do find it funny though when if you beat Ozma ahead of Hades, Hades more or less just pisses himself. He's like, oh shit. Get me up there. I think that was it. Yeah, so the Batman, not great, but what we just watched was Back to the Future trilogy, and those movies are fucking awesome. Now, I've always enjoyed them, but I was kind of looking at these movies a bit more critically, and I gotta say, the ending of the third one, and therefore the series as a whole, not a big fan of it. When Doc shows up with that train. Yeah. It makes no sense because it undoes a lot of what we already knew about it. So Doc wanted the DeLorean destroyed after the events of the second one. So why the fuck would he build another one, and how could he have built another one when he couldn't even repair the DeLorean in that time? He had the DeLorean covered and hidden and waited for 1955 Doc to be able to repair it. So that it all in all just makes no fucking sense. He would have no desire to do so, and doesn't have the means in order to do it, but yeah, he somehow built it into a fucking train. I don't get it. So I wasn't the biggest fan there. That was a big old misstep. But yeah, it's still a very, very strong trilogy. It's either my it's either my third or fourth favorite trilogy. I'm gonna be really boring and say, yeah, Lord of the Rings is my favorite trilogy, but it's fucking Lord of the Rings. How do you go against that one? Then the OT. Then it's either between Back to the Future or Indiana Jones. Temple of Doom, as far as Indiana Jones is concerned, that is the weakest one in that trilogy. Solely because of Willie. That chick drives me nuts. I can ignore her for most of the part, but holy fuck, the majority of her dialogue is just her going, whining and complaining, screeching, and it wears on you. It really does. But I mean, outside of that, it's a really fun story. I really liked some of the special effects. Where he's like, was it Dolaram or Molaram is pulling the hearts out, and then they like lower it down and just watch it burst into flames. That was fucking awesome. I'm about to introduce my kids to some Indiana Jones after some James Bond. My kids are like 2 and 4, so they're probably not going to give two flying fucks about James Bond. But you know what? We're going to show it to them anyway, because they need to learn how to love some James Bond at a young age. Or just fucking light them on fire. bother opening that door because I'm pretty sure there was nothing really that valuable over there. And all it does is just let out a bunch of beasties, and I don't really give a fuck about them. That's what I liked a lot of this, like, actual mystery stuff here, leading up. And poor VV gets just shaken to his core here. Like, I'm barely into this game, and you know, you get a whole lot of interesting story just right off the bat. Busy, fuck off. Damn, there is like nothing for me to do there. I always thought it was kind of funny. The Steiner's like so high and mighty, but then when you get control of them, you just kind of go around and find shit. Now, I've always been better at the card game in 9 than in 8, but I don't understand the card game in 9 at all. It is really kind of a crapshoot, and I'm sure if I just like actually took the time to figure it out, I would get it. But I've always done well enough to the point where I never really look it up and try to understand. Oh, I was supposed to talk to him and I didn't even bother. Dipshit. But I gotta say, I'm much better at the card game than I am at fucking Blitzball in 10. Holy shit, do I suck at that. What did Patches O'Hooligan say in Dodgeball? It's like trying to watch a monkey fuck a football. That's basically trying to watch me play Blitzball. It's bad. It is really fucking bad. I have tried to actually do well in it because the idea of Blitzball is really fucking awesome, but I just am not smart enough to figure that one out. Like, I got to the point where I'm like looking up videos and how to do shit, and no, I'm too fucking just very, very bad at it. It's a damn shame, because I think that's how you can get Wakka's best weapon in that, or like a sigil or something like that you need in order to get his like best weapon completely upgraded. Hell yeah, poke it with a sword. I ain't got time for this shit. Silly bastard. Hey, look, a boss fight. I gotta say though, these guys look fucking awesome. They probably could have been like a higher level boss, just aesthetically looking. Really powered them up. And again, kick-ass music, boss fight music in this is fantastic. Gets you just all ready to whoop some ass. Just need a steal. I don't remember right, Thunder was still pretty good. We'll try Blizzard. Oh, shit. Oh, well. Shit. Alright, now I can start really whooping his ass. dick, bitch. That's why I have Vivi and Steiner constantly. Having Steiner be able to help double up on the magic is fucking awesome. So, but yeah, that's probably where I'll just end it for tonight. So, but yeah, this has been fun. I'll probably try to do some more of this. Now, I didn't have my fucking chat up at all, so if you are out there chatting, I am sorry. I do need to figure that out, but that's part of what this was all about. Just trying to go through and figure out some things that maybe I need to tighten up, and just see if this is something I want to do. So, um, you know, because I also do want to incorporate other people, you know, talking to me. I want to, you know, talk back, but for whatever reason, I do not have my chat up here on OBS. It should be up. It once was, but now it is not. So I do need to figure that out. So that is part of the fun little learning curve I got going here. But yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and end this. I'm gonna get to a save point here and save, and I'll probably play again next Sunday. I'm kind of liking the Sunday deal there. I'll put the kiddos to bed and just hop on the stream. So if I don't start directly at 9:15, it's just basically as soon as I can get my kids to sleep. So some nights are better than others. But all right, guys. Well, that is all I have for today, guys. So until next time, take care and God bless.